I think he's just I think he's a wet towel, limp dick, pussy ass, baby back bitch. I think that's what he is. I do. I think it's actually that simple.
It's
It's
good.
actually that. It's just that. There it is. Right there it is. Marco declined to be a
Okay, yeah.
candidate for the Dolphins head coaching position. Oh, he did? That's too bad. Man, yeah, he's got to do something else.
Oh damn, Fortnite in a new season? Oh no, it's not supposed to be.
What do you think of the position of Trump on Greenland? I think that I was ignorant about the amount of effort and work that the the Danes have done in order to like help America. And I think the quote I said was, "What has Denmark ever done for us?" Apparently, a lot of things, right? I think that the U.S. It would be nice maybe if the U.S. had Denmark for like national security or something like that. But I don't support Trump taking it by any sort of force. I think that anything like that should be up on the table for negotiation. Sure, like why not? And maybe it would be better for Denmark if that happened. But I don't think that we should bully them into it militarily. Denmark, yeah. He means Greenland. Well, Denmark owns Greenland, right?
Yeah, I don't know how people don't know that.
Wait a minute. Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. Jesus Christ. Y'all are stressing me out. Y'all are stressing me out. So basically, the discussions about Greenland occur through Denmark.
Oh, oops, let's go. Gonna be hard to get this one.
That's the point. You said taking over Denmark. Oh, I said taking over Denmark. Oh yeah. Sorry. Could we just become a closer and stronger ally? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of places in between. Nope. Nope. Just a minute, I got a big one for you guys. I got a pretty big one. Wait, what? Oh, it didn't copy over. Give me a second, I gotta check it again. Okay. Alright, give me a second. Yeah. All right. Where is it? Iran's Khamenei has fled the country and is on his way to Moscow. This is coming from Israeli sources. But, man.
I don't, you know what? I don't understand why she's like, it's coming from Israel. But the thing is, I don't know, that's a big thing to say. Anyway.
I don't think we should own them.
So I don't
like, it's okay for us to,
believe it.
like, I think it's okay for the United States to try to recoup the amount of money that we invested into helping a country. Like, I think that's fine. But owning them, I don't want to own, like, we can't even own Minnesota. Really, like, we can't own Minnesota, guys. Like, what are we talking about owning Iran? I don't want to. We can't own Minnesota. We can't own Minnesota. Like, we don't need 51 states. We can't even keep 50. Yeah, it's crazy. It's free version. Yeah, exactly. And again, I see what you're saying. We can help them, but I don't.
I could have maybe said that, to be honest, but that was right on the edge.
Hans Khamenei has fled the country, is on his way to Moscow. We don't know if this is true. He's not fit to be a leader. Well, I think people have seen that. Will Khamenei leave Iran? What are people betting on? Let me see this. Poly. I'm gonna get a sponsorship with Poly Market. It's gonna happen. Khamenei out as supreme leader of Iran by January 31st. Man. 19% chance. This is the highest percentage that it has ever been.
Major breaking news coming out of Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, the situation is dramatically getting worse and worse. Every day that goes by, we're on day 13, almost 2 weeks in now. Last night, the Islamic regime, the terrorist Islamic regime, the illegitimate government of Iran, has shut down the internet nationwide. We've seen pings of the maps. All the internet has been shut down across Iran, and, well, the situation is getting very bad very quickly. I have seen some of the most graphic images since probably the October 7th war or the raid on the Druze communities in Syria coming out of Iran and what the Islamic regime is actually doing to its citizens right now, and it's horrific. Horrific is an understatement. It is a crime against humanity, and nobody's talking about it. The mainstream media will not cover this. The pro-Palestine side is silent. The UN is silent, and I am fucking aggravated. So we're going to look at what's going on and try to shine a light for the people of Iran as they fight to gain their country back.
Tonight, internet service was cut off or partially restricted in major Iranian cities, including the capital of Tehran, as leadership there tried to quell growing protests. Further east, Iranian protesters destroyed their country's flag in Iran's second largest city, Mashhad. On the 12th,
Just to make a correction, this is not the country's flag. The flag of the regime is an illegitimate flag that was placed upon the country after the Islamic Revolution. It is not the real flag of Iran. It is a fake flag that stands for Islamic colonialism and supremacy in ancestral Persia. It is not the real flag of Iran.
day of ongoing demonstrations, human rights organizations say that protests are now unfolding in more than 111 cities, with no sign of the unrest letting up.
Any kind of support scheme is certainly necessary and essential under these economic conditions. But unfortunately, runaway inflation is far ahead of the support plans.
The government in Tehran passed a bill this week to pay all Iranian households the equivalent of $7 a month, an effort to ease growing tension. At the same time, Iranian security forces continue to round up demonstrators, reportedly arresting more than 2,000 since the protests began. With domestic uncertainty, Iran is reportedly testing air defense systems and keeping its military on high alert, fearing Israeli or American strikes. An Iranian delegation traveled Wednesday to Beirut, Lebanon, the home base of Iran's largest regional proxy, Hezbollah. Hours after Iranian officials arrived, Israel struck new Hezbollah targets, and Iran's foreign minister spoke about the prospect of a broader war.
We are fully prepared for any situation. We don't want war, but we are ready for war. We are also ready for negotiations, but only negotiations that are based off mutual interests and respect.
While Israel also prepares for the possibility of another large war, officials here are continuing meetings about the Trump administration's Gaza peace plan. John?
Trey Inkston, Tel Aviv tonight. Trey, thank you. Up next.
So that's a little bit of an inside scoop of what's been going on just in recent hours. Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince of Iran, has also chimed in to try to push people out into the streets, even more
Did I derank?
to go full out in the streets.
Oh no, I didn't do it. Why am I doing that?
به خصوص امروز در بازار تهران علیرغم سرکوب نظام ایستادگی شما ستودنی است و قطعا توجه ازدحام جمعیت باعث این میشه که نیروها پس بروند و امکان ریزش بنابراین مهم استش که این انضباط و گستردگی رو حفظ بکنیم. من اولین فراخوان خود را امروز با شما در میان می‌گذارم و از شما دعوت می‌کنم که این جمعه و پنجشنبه 18 و 19 دی ماه را سر ساعت 8 شب همگی چه در خیابان‌ها یا حتی از منازل خودتون شروع به شعار سر دادن کنید. در نتیجه بازخورد این حرکت‌ها من فراخوان‌های بعدی را به شما اعلام خواهم کرد.
So this is the revolution, folks. This is it. As you saw, Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince of Iran, is full on giving instructions now for the protesters of what to do. They were following his instructions last night, and they will be following his instructions tonight as well. And hopefully, there's a series of instructions that he will put into place. And it seems like our friend here, Goldie Gamari, who I'm going to be talking about a little bit later, has also given us an innuendo that Trump may officially be behind this now. And these instructions that will be coming from Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince, moving forward, may actually have U.S. backing behind them because there's a bigger plan in place. And it may require a hit on Iran directly by the military to bring the regime finally to its knees and fold under pressure. Massacre happening right now in Iran. Islamic terrorists have shut down the internet and are murdering Iranians right now.
Here is Mashhad City. Ayatollah killed my people. Please help my people.
Please, head to Reza Pahlavi. Come to Iran. Baby Netanyahu, please come to Iran. Please head to Iranian people. Ayatollah killed my people. Please help. I'm a certain...
So absolute chaos on the streets of Iran right now. And while Reza Pahlavi has called out for civil disobedience and order, it's impossible. The people are fed up. They're dying. They're being killed in the streets. It's not possible. It's not possible to do this civilly. And nobody, honestly, nobody's expecting them to. I didn't expect them to. Since from Rizkar 24, Islamic News completely shut down the internet in Iran. You can see the network connectivity just gone completely. But God bless, we have official confirmations too that Elon Musk and Reza Pahlavi have apparently been smuggling in Starlink systems all across the country for the last several months. And now the people of Iran are not going to be fully disconnected from the internet. Most will be, but there will still be people in there who can upload to us and show us what's going on.
Iranian woman here to tell you what is going on in Iran and why you should be paying attention. Hint, because it is a very familiar story. Most people believe that the story of Iran begins in 1979 with the Islamic Revolution. But our story actually goes much further back. It begins with the Red-Green Alliance, the alliance of the far-left Marxists with the far-right Islamists. Their union not only destroyed Iran, that ideology infected the West. That is why I say Iran is not the past. Iran is a warning of what happens when that ideology goes unchecked. And I'm about to tell you. So let's go back in time for a few short seconds. How did socialism make its way to Iran? A lot of people don't know this, but the Soviets actually entered Iran in the early 1920s and annexed a northern part of its territory, turning it into a socialist state. Well, like all other socialist states, it was obviously doomed to fail, and fail it did. But that wasn't before the Marxist ideology went underground in Iran, infecting Iranian textbooks, academic life, education, and the intellectual elite. But most importantly, what did this Marxist ideology teach young Iranians? It taught them that the West was their enemy, and it was their moral duty to fight Western imperialism. This is what I call the Great Lie. Why? Because it was never about fighting the West or even making Iran a better place. It was about using our lands as a revolutionary launchpad for their communist dreams. Then came the turning point. In the 1960s, the Shah introduced the White Revolution. That was a modernization project. It increased women's rights, women's suffrage, education, literacy, land reforms, industrial expansion. It was supported by the Iranian people by referendum. But guess who rejected it? Of course, the Red-Green Alliance. They said that that type of modernization was westernization, and that couldn't happen in Iran. That was when the Marxists and the
Sorry,
Islamists...
that was completely my fault. I don't know why I did.
That's why they set fire to Rex Cinema famously, because they said cinemas were a symbol of westernization. That movement eventually led to the 1979 revolution that overthrew the Shah and ushered in the Islamic regime. And who, pray tell, was the leader of this revolutionary movement? Ayatollah Khomeini. Like every practitioner of the Great Lie, he mastered borrowing Marxist language to promise free everything.
That could have been because of me,
free healthcare, free
to
housing,
be
free
honest.
transportation. Well, Iranians discovered very soon thereafter, turns out there's no such thing as a free lunch. It was, of course, a gigantic grift. What came next? We've all seen. A hands-made tale-style, totalitarian theocracy, hanging, lynching, shooting, blinding, people just asking for basic human rights. And who were the very first people to be executed as soon as that regime came to power? The same leftists that ushered them in, convinced of the Great Lie. Now, almost 50 years later, after multiple attempts, this is what the Iranian people are rising up to free themselves from. And it is very important to pay attention to exactly what they're chanting. They're not just saying down with the dictator. They're saying in akharin nabarde Pahlavi barmigarde. What does that mean? It means this is the last battle, then Pahlavi will return. Why? Because Reza Pahlavi is the son of the last Shah, who they ousted because of the Great Lie. The Iranian people will choose their own future by referendum, but before they move forward, they must correct the mistakes of the past. They are calling for Reza Pahlavi see as a closing of the karmic loop, a symbolic return to the Iranian civilization that we once knew before we move into an even
Nice.
brighter future. That is why you should be paying attention to Iran, because Iran is not history. Iran is a warning. They are not just in the aftermath of tyranny, they are in the aftermath of the great lie. And that lie is here on our doorsteps.
I'm getting, by the way, as we're watching these clips of El Kalaban explaining through the free press so beautifully
You
what's going on.
bitch! My dog is a
Just
bitch.
getting in my phone the most horrific fucking videos coming from Iran. Stuff I'm not going to be able to show here on YouTube. Very graphic images. Absolutely horrible video, guys, coming
So I
out.
want to get your thoughts on why do you think Iran is not able to bring an end to the existing regime?
If you look at the frequency of movements in Iran, protest movements or rebellions in Iran, in the last decade alone, you had far more numbers of protests occurring against the regime
What is my
than
teammate
anything in the
doing?
preceding 30 years, including the Mahsa uprising. Now, the manifestation of such uprising are to be expected more and more as we go ahead in time. And a lot of it is not due only to the complete rejection of the regime in terms of its political legitimacy, but also because of the economic factor as you indicated. Today, the Iranian currency is at its lowest devaluation ever. $1 is exchanged at 195,000 tuman. That's almost 15,000 times more than what it was at the time of the revolution. Not to mention the poverty line, which is 60%, inflation at 40%, the fact that the most basic needs of society are not being provided, businesses and schools have to be shut down because there's not enough power supply, electricity, or what have you. All of that under circumstances of a continued campaign of repression. But the Iranian people are fighting. They are still resisting. They are still moving. And one factor that is critical is that today, part of why I have such level of popularity among Iran is because we are finding ourselves back in the narrative of our sense of national identity. That's very important to understand. The sense of national identity is critical for Iranians. In fact, when Mahsa Amini was murdered, some people tried to characterize it as an issue.
She's not doing good, to be honest. She doesn't even know how it works to redirect. Didn't even redirect it once.
But Mahsa's mother said Mahsa was a daughter of Iran. Let's not make this an ethnic issue. It's an Iranian issue. And that shows you that irrespective of what part of Iran you may be of, whether you are from Azerbaijan or from Kurdistan or from Khuzestan or from Balochistan, today the Iranian people find themselves in this collective narrative of a sense of national identity. And that's very important to underline because that's in fact the answer to a regime that from the very beginning talked about Ummat. Ummat means those pertaining to a particular faith. It had nothing to do with Iran as a territory, as a sovereign nation, as a nation state, if you will. That's important to underline. And if you look at the slogans today, if you look at how people react to this regime, they find themselves in that narrative. So the alternative that we represent is always about our national identity vis-a-vis a regime that always denied it to us. That's factor number one. Factor number two is the fact that the regime is becoming more and more weak as we speak. So there are elements of fragmentation that we're beginning to see. One phenomenon which is very important for our audience to detect is the fact that if until the last few years the narrative of reform was still being considered as something to hope for in terms of bringing gradual change to the system from within, that narrative is now completely gone. We have elements who belong to that camp, if you will, yesteryear, who now want to join forces with the rest of us who from the very beginning were advocating a secular democratic alternative to this regime and are now moving in this direction. Case in point, I will name the name this time because he has been very vocal about it. I'm talking about somebody who was a right-hand man to Ali Khamenei as the editor-in-chief of Kayhan newspaper, which is the equivalent of Pravda during the Soviet era, if you will.
Oof, I didn't do that good.
regime from the beginning, a revolutionary, who today says we have to work together with Reza Pahlavi, join hands with him, and usher in a transition to a democracy beyond this regime. These are the factors and phenomena that will indicate how the paradigm is shifting within Iran, not just within people who are in complete parallel world to the regime, but elements who belong to the regime who are now beginning to defect to our side. Now, the only missing ingredient, however, to answer your question, why is it that we have yet to see complete success, is two things. Number one is that the critical mass is not quite there yet.
Yeah.
By the time we reach about 5% of society totally mobilized, and that's a matter of coordination at home, I think that's where you will see the shift completely occur. But there has to also be an element of external support.
Correct. It's become clear to all of us that the only way that the revolution will properly be able to come in Iran is through American/Israeli support. Israel or America will have to get involved in some capacity to bring on the end of this regime. Lebanese media says Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi's visit to Beirut was not merely ceremony, as he arrived accompanied his family. Those traveling included his wife Arezu Ahmadfand, his daughter Sadat, and his son Sayyid Hussein and Sayyid Reza. According to the reports, Araghchi and his family are expected to remain in residences designated for Iranian diplomats in Lebanon for an unspecified period. Which is also hilarious that Lebanon is even allowing these people to come in still. It seems Lebanon hasn't learned a single lesson from what's going on in the last year. It's honestly insane. Breaking, the people of Tehran are burning down regime buildings right now. The crowds are massive. You can see as they keep chanting, Javed Shah, long live the Shah. So that is still going on. Also something that broke, that was huge over the night. This was reposted also by Goldie Gamari and Armin Avabi as they were live on the show. Tucker Carlson was starting to be pushed in state propaganda media.
Stop, Armin. So, the Islamic regime right now is literally broadcasting Tucker Carlson interviews in Persian on their 24-hour news channel. The country is in a state of chaos, and yet for some reason, the Islamic regime is choosing to play Tucker Carlson interviews because this is like, it's Islamist propaganda. I'm just filming this right now because if I didn't do this, no one would believe. This is literally what's going on in occupied Iran right now.
You still
Kamala
believe we were
Harris.
speaking out of line when we said he was being paid by Qatar? You still believe we were speaking out of line when we said he's a fucking paid shill and a propagandist for the Islamic world? Still? Are we still bullshitting? Huh? Or is there an element of truth there? Why would the Islamic regime of Iran, as the country is literally falling apart, breaking as it seems, why the hell would they be playing Tucker Carlson podcast episodes? Explain it to me. Explain it to me. Give me an explanation. Give me a rational explanation that makes sense. Give me a rational explanation. Give me something that actually makes sense.
I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to dive right in and begin with Iran.
That was crazy.
Michael Duran of the Hudson Institute says the regime there is failing. They have fuel shortages, electricity shortages, water shortage. Kareem Sajaport Carnegie is posting the videos of the spreading protests. Mark Dubovitz, so this is a quote, if President Trump brings down the Islamic Republic of Iran, he will cement his place as the greatest foreign policy president since Ronald Reagan. I think it would actually...
I thought I already did that.
I was just about to add, with Midnight Hammer, you did that.
How much more can I do? We just had Venezuela, we just had Midnight Hammer.
Yeah.
We settled 8 wars.
8 and a quarter.
But I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to accept it.
What about Iran? Is the aim with Iran the collapse of that awful 47-year tyranny?
Well, I don't want to say it, but I will tell you they're not doing well. As you know, probably better than anybody. They're doing very poorly. have let them know that if they start killing people, which they tend to do during their riots, they have lots of riots. If they do it, we're going to hit them very hard.
Now, dozens have been killed. I know you don't do red lines, but have you communicated to them what that limit of your patience is?
Well, some have been killed by, problems of crowd control and other things, and we're watching it very closely. The crowds are so large, there's been a stampede. There's been 3 stampedes, and people have been killed in that, and I'm not sure I can necessarily hold somebody responsible for that, but they know, and they've been told very strongly, even more strongly than I'm speaking to you right now, that if they do that, they're going to have to pay hell.
Do you have a message for the people of Iran, President Trump?
All I can say is you should feel strongly about freedom. There's nothing like freedom. You're brave people. It's a shame what's happened to your country. Your country was a great country. I remember years ago when I was a young real estate developer, friends of mine went to Iran and they did great. They built buildings in Iran. They're still up, barely, by the way, but they're still up. I see pictures of them, apartment houses, and they did very well in Iran. They've passed away. They were very successful developers. They were great people, mostly New York developers, but they went to Iran and they built some pretty good jobs in Iran. And I remember they were saying the people are great. The whole place was great. It was a tremendous market. And now you look at it. Look what's happened.
I sat in the office of former President Nixon with Ray Price on a couch with RM, watching the fall of the Shah, and he just kept shaking his head. He couldn't believe Jimmy Carter was letting it happen. Would you meet with Crown Prince Pahlavi, who is the heir to the constitutional monarchy? He doesn't want to rule. He would be a symbolic ruler like King Charles.
Well, I've watched him, and he seems like a nice person, but I'm not sure that it would be appropriate at this point to do that.
Damn, this guy's Diamond 3-3v3, and he's this bad.
Everybody go out there and we see who emerges. I'm not sure necessarily that it would be an appropriate thing to do.
You see, Trump is tiptoeing heavily around the subject, and I think, and I know that clip right there of him not wanting to take complete, take Pahlavi as a leader. 100%. It's probably I get why people would see it to be problematic. I really do.
Why would you fake that?
I just will say, like I said, since the beginning of this, I do feel like there is something going on in the background that we don't see. Something that's going on that you and I are not seeing, that we don't have access to. Again, I'm asking all my sources to try to give you guys the most accurate information. There's just not a lot going on because it's heavily repressed. But I have a feeling, a deep feeling that something is brewing underneath. And that's the reason why Trump is also not openly going out right now, gung-ho, and saying, hey, I'm co-signing everything that Pahlavi is saying. That could be an issue for Trump. I wonder with what Pahlavi has said, we need 5% of the population to bring about the end of the regime. Here's a look at the chills all over my body. This is Tehran running on a massive scream, Azadi, 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 freedom, 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 for reference. 40 hours ago, Pahlavi, Reza Pahlavi issued a directive to take to the streets today, 8 p.m. It's now around 11 p.m. The video was viewed almost 90 million times. The population of Iran is only about 90 million. To everybody saying that people of Iran want regime change, echoing the regime's propaganda, this was an American imperialism or a Zionist psyop. It's time to disappear into the bushes like Homer. The Iranian people have trampled every line underfoot. They're coming for the terrorists. Stand back. It's time to go. I mean, the protests are massive. I don't know. I think this may be more than 5% of the population at this point. It's a huge amount of people out on the streets. Huge amount of people. All right, let's listen to this one.
You know what I find so bizarrely interesting? It's how the Free Palestine movement, the Free Palestine activists are completely silent on what's happening in Iran. People are going and protesting against, their Muslim, Sharia law, crazy government. People are literally going on the streets, and literally getting killed. Even the police itself.
Well, Heat Seeker is a mode that I like playing, to be honest.
As all of this is happening, the Free Palestine people are so quiet. Isn't that crazy? All these pro-Hamas, Free Palestine people, they're ultimately against, what they're against? They're against Western and Christian values. That's
well, it's the left wing.
They're not out here,
all the left wing,
being, a religion of oppression. My friends
All
these
left
people
wingism.
literally are protesting to have the Maduro released. As a Christian, I truly pray for the people of Iran, that they are freed from this terrible and crazy oppression that they're under. All of this, the more you realize as a Christian, all of this is literally spiritual.
More than just that, the reason why you don't hear anything from the pro-Palestine side is because they are the same side. They are the same people. The IRGC and Palestine is the same idea. It's the same concept. It is Islamic imperialism. It is Islamic colonialization onto other people's land. That's all that it is. That's the reason why you don't see them speaking up, because they support it. The Palestinians support the Islamic regime of Iran. They support continuing to oppress the Muslim or the Iranian people. Iranian man runs over Islamic regime forces with a car. There he goes for it. Right into him. Yeah, I mean, it's going to become very dangerous over the coming days to be part of the IRGC. The problem is, now that they're shutting off the internet, they are starting to massacre the people of Iran. Just massive. This is in Tehran. At 1 a.m. last night.
Oof. What is my teammate doing?
And imagine these people are doing
Like
this
there,
in
he
bed.
played really well, but
It is
before
freezing in Iran right now. It is super fucking cold. Super cold.
Really?
It's freezing. Can you imagine if it was summer right now? Can you imagine if they could fight without any fear of what would happen to them?
That was a really good
physically? The cold wasn't an element. Can you imagine what that would be like? How many more thousands of people, maybe millions, would be out in the street if it wasn't freezing fucking cold in the middle of these nights? Millions of Iranians respond to Prince Reza Pahlavi's call, taking to the streets of Mashhad and across the country, rejecting the Islamic
close.
demanding the popular return.
What? That's pretty bad, to be honest. Let's see. I don't know. That looked
You're 10
pretty
minutes
bad.
late for work, but you were 20 minutes late yesterday. It's a good day for a good deal at Outback Steakhouse. Get down under favourites like the Aussie three-course starting at $14.99 with savoury soup or fresh salad, your choice of select entrees like the juicy bloomin' burger and New York-style cheesecake for dessert. It's a deal so delicious you'll only be 5 minutes late tomorrow. Maybe 4. Try the Aussie three-course starting at $14.99. Any reason is a good reason to celebrate at Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
This is it, folks. This is the revolution, and it is being televised live. We are seeing the revolution unfold in our own, with our very own eyes. We're watching it piece by piece unfold in front of our very eyes.
Crazy stuff.
We're actually seeing what's going on from our friends here at Jewish Uncensored, my beautiful team. Posted this clip of Cyrus, or sorry, the shop.
آسوده بخواه زیرا که ما بیداریم کوروش ما امروز
The speech that Mohammad Reza Pahlavi gave before the revolution at the tomb of Cyrus the Great, one of the incredible historical leaders of Iran that brought the Jewish people back home. An incredible leader. Brave Iranian mother faces off against Iranian security forces as her daughter cries for her to turn back. Mama, she refuses to turn her back and continues to walk towards them. Regime forces and shot fire.
Yeah, that's a crazy shot.
This is the absolute heartbreaking clips that are coming out of Iran. These people are fighting for their lives, fighting for their lives. And the regime's back is now against the wall. From Israel, war room reports emerging from Iran indicate that the Fars province protesters have overrun and taken control of the RSS facility.
Damn, my teammate is so good.
They're breaking down gates, they're breaking down barriers, they're breaking down walls, they're breaking into everything and anything that they can to liberate their country, to liberate their nation. And again, I just have queued up here just these horrible, horrible, horrific clips. We have another interview with President Trump, which is very important to watch. Let's take a look here.
Are you following the protesting that is taking place all over the country of Iran?
Yeah,
now?
I'm following it very
And
closely.
have you read that the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has a plan B to go to Russia?
Someplace, he's looking to go someplace.
Do you believe that Iran? You think the country is on the verge of collapsing?
Well, it could be. What they've done is in the past, they've started shooting the hell out of people, and all of a sudden people without any weapons whatsoever are standing there and you have machine guns gunning them down, or they take them to prisons and then hang them and kill them. So they played rough, and I said, if they do that, we're going to hit them very hard. We're going to hit them hard. We're ready to do it. If they do that, we're going to hit them hard. And so far, for the most part, there's been some of it, but for the most part, they haven't. There have been people killed. Some of them, the crowds are so big that some of them have had were stomped on. Literally, it was terrible. The crowds are just
crazy.
The enthusiasm to overturn that regime is incredible. But there's been people killed, but it's more from death by it's literally stomping. It's people running in a certain direction. So we'll
Nice.
see what happens over there. They know though that it's a stampede. Is I guess the best word. They have like a stampede. You talk about stampede for cattle, but the people are stampeding, and you're losing a lot of people with the stampedes. There's so many people protesting. Nobody's ever seen anything like what's happening right now. But I have put Iran on notice that if they start shooting at them, these people are totally unarmed people, and they love their country. They want something to happen. Look at their country. They've gone back 150 years. But I've told them that if they do anything,
that was crazy.
Very hard.
So if there is mass murder by the Iranian Ayatollahs and those leadership, you're pledging to the people of Iran that you will come to their aid.
I've said it very loud and very clear. Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
I have.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. No, he's on my team.
Well, it says make Iran great again.
No, and the other guy's on the...
I said, this is a little tricky hat.
Yeah.
Why do you want me to sign this hat?
I don't know.
He's
Can I
really
auction
talking
this
about
off on
the
eBay?
riots.
Can I sell this?
Yeah,
It's probably worth a lot of money.
Oh, this guy's actually the good guy.
I said, there's a lot of definitions for that. And what he's talking about is the people that are, protesting, I guess is the only word you can use. It's really the biggest protest I've ever seen. The people that are protesting, if they take over the country, he wants to see if Iran can be great again. Years ago, a friend of mine was a developer in New York. I was a young developer, and he went to Iran, and he built buildings in Iran, and he made a lot of money, and he did very well. And it was like condos and rentals, and he loved Iran. He thought it was great. And he did a lot of work. He did a tremendous amount of work. He loved the people. He thought they were so incredible. And then it all stopped when this stuff started happening.
1979.
Yeah, it stopped like magic.
444 days Americans held hostage.
Yeah, that was right. It was not a good time for Jimmy Carter. It wasn't a good time for
America.
his politics.
No, didn't work out very well for anybody.
So again, Trump reassuring the people of Iran that he's going to get involved. Now, I'm literally talking to my team live as we're recording this right now, and I know it's getting a little bit late here in the Middle East where I'm at right now. It's 2:30 in the afternoon at the time I'm recording this right now. Probably by the time this comes out, it'll probably be around 4 or 5 p.m. I'll show you guys a clip. This is another clip that was posted by Emily Schrader. Khomeini delivered a speech today saying Trump will be overthrown and the protesters are running their own streets to make the president of the country happy.
یه مش تخریبگر آمدن ساختمان متعلق به کشور خودشون رو.
Okay, so whatever this rat is hiding right now, he's still giving speeches somehow. Who the fuck knows if this has been superimposed, the green screen somehow. I've taken it upon myself when I woke up today in the morning to get in contact with some of my Iranian viewers to help me create a message for the people of Iran, and this is my message to them in Farsi.
تسلیم نشید برای مردم ایران مردم اسرائیل شاهد رنج شما و انقلاب شما علیه مستبدان و جنایتکارانی که کشور و ملت بزرگ ایران را گروگان گرفتند هستیم. من یک یهودی هستم که قبل از انقلاب اسلامی ایران مادر بزرگان نجات داد. من زندگیم مدیون شما هستم. همچنین بسیاری از اسرائیلی ها آرزو میکنیم که شما در این جنگ علیه مستبدان پیروز شوید. تسلیم نشید و به مبارزه
تسلیم نشین.
ما با رهبران صحبت میکنیم تا بیشتر دخیل بشن که شما بتونید این رژیم رو ساقط کنید. حتی وقتی اینترنت رو قطع میکنند تا شما رو توی خیابونا بکشند ما سکوت نمی کنیم. ما صدای شما رو در اخبارمون و در سوشال میدیا به گوش جهانیان میرسونیم و رنج شما رو نادیده نمیگیریم. ایرانیان عزیز، اسرائیل به شماست. یهودیان
اسرائیل به شماست.
زنده باد ایران.
زنده باد ایران. He's calling him ass.
Made by an amazing friend of the show, Chrome380 here on YouTube. He used to make incredible, he still does make incredible music, but we used to work together and create music for current topics, and we did that the first Iran-Israel attack, when Iran attacked Israel. Guys, here's my prediction. Something big's about to happen. There are U.S. planes all over the Straits of Hormuz right now. I'm getting updates from all my intel groups. Shit is popping off. Something big is most likely going to happen. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know, and I can't say for a fact that it's going to happen. It just feels like something big is building right now. I don't know what it is. I will try to be as updated once I'm not here anymore, but I'll be back Saturday night most likely to give you guys updates if anything else crazy is going on. Pray for Iran. Have Iran in your prayers. I'm praying for them every morning when I put on my tefillin. I'm praying for them. I'm doing a prayer for their freedom, so we can get back to a sense of peace in the Middle East and start building a reality that's better for all of our children. We need the Islamic regime to collapse. We need Khomeini to disappear into the ether and never come back again and never lift his disgusting rat head ever again. Folks, it is time. It is time for a new beginning in the Middle East. It's time for a new beginning for Iran. We're all praying and hoping that it happens very soon. I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you all. Have a great weekend. Have you struggled with repping your Zionism style? Well, boy, do I have a solution for you. Head to thetravelingclad.com and become a sweet Zionist prince or princess today. Or maybe even let the world know you're a white colonizer with matching hat. Tell the comment section you were thrown out of 109 countries by joining the 109 Club with a matching hat. They say it was promised to you 2,000 years ago. Double down and grab a shirt that was promised to you 3,000 years ago with a matching hat. Ever dreamed of Zionizing like me? Do it with a matching hat, damn it. Show off your Iraqi pride by being someone's Baghdadi or showing them you were made in Iraq with a matching hat. It's time to laugh in the face of those who attack us. Wear their hate with pride
Iraqi
and become
Palestine.
untouchable. TheTravelingClad.com. We got mugs, stickers, shirts, hoodies, and so much more. Go grab yourself something nice, Habibis and Habibtis. You deserve it. If you don't want to buy the merchandise, the best way to support me is by donating on Buy Me a Coffee, my PayPal, or becoming a member on my Patreon. Your support is very much needed. And
مصرية.
thank you.
أوف. مصرية. That was a good thing. I'm the chicken. כן? אני עשיתי הרבה הפסקה. عربية فلسطينية. Oh, nice. Porsche taxi. يا فلسطيني عربية اسمعني يا جح. Nice. Oof. I mean, I kinda get it. I'm not in support of forfeiting though. Not yet. It's still 3-1. It's not the worst time to forfeit though. Good. Nice. See, now we definitely shouldn't forfeit. That took a fairly long time, but bye guys, see you. I'm probably gonna be back, but see you. Bye.